I like fighting games because the drive it gives me, the competitive drive it gives me. I'm a very competitive person. When I'm competing at a tournament on that stage, I feel like I can't get that feeling anywhere else.
The crowd is popping off right now for Ricki Ortiz.
When I was younger, I knew I was something. I just didn't know exactly what it was.
Oh!
I wasn't gay. It just didn't click for me, you know? I knew I liked men, but I knew that I wasn't gay. I knew something was just off.
Look at the crowd going mad!
Wow! I was always depressed and sad, and I just knew I had to make a change. And I knew what the change was because it's been haunting me inside forever.
And Ricki takes it!
Wow, look, wow!
My name is Ricki Ortiz, and I'm a professional Street Fighter player for the team Evil Geniuses. Again?
Can I get a picture with you?
Of course, yeah.
She's a real big deal. She's been gaming with Street Fighter for quite a few years. She was a runner-up to the Capcom Cup. You know, that's only an invite only.
Good to see you, Brian.
Yeah, you too.
Male, female, trans, that doesn't matter in the game. And if you're good, you're good. If you're not, then, you know.
I started showing my transition about 2.5 years ago, going on 3 years. I knew I liked men, but I knew that I wasn't gay. I knew something was just off. I thought that I was a female for the most part. And I started seeing things on TV, like say like drag queens, and I was like, wow, maybe I could be, maybe that can be me. I don't know, maybe I'm something like that, I don't know. When YouTube started coming out and information was a lot more easy, I started finding stuff about transgender people and whatnot, and I knew that was me. It was just kind of rough for me because I mean I came out as gay when I was younger, and then now I gotta come out again as this. When I stopped thinking about it until like a point where it got me really depressed, and it just took all my energy, and like I couldn't even perform as well as I wanted to at events. I was not fun at events. I was just very boring. I was always quiet, and I just wasn't myself. So I was like, you know what? I think it's time, because if I don't actually come out, I could potentially not be on this world anymore. I could potentially harm myself or whatever it may be. I just wasn't in a good place, and I knew I had to do something about it to make myself whole again. So Street Fighter is basically a video game, just like any other competitive game like Dota or League of Legends or baseball, basketball, football.
Do you think you become another person when you play the game?
I wouldn't say that. I'm definitely the same person, but I will say that when I play the game, I'm kind of clear of mind. I definitely don't have any kind of thought other than the game on my mind when I'm playing. I could be sick. I could have the flu. I can have a cold, a cough, but when I'm playing the game, like, I don't even feel sick anymore. I don't feel anything. I'm just in the game, like, because I'm so focused on winning. The adrenaline is so high that I just feel normal. Well, hello. Oh, I like your jacket. How about you? Good to see you. Good to see you. How are you? It's hot out there. I basically met Greg through games, even though he doesn't play games as much anymore. I met him through Street Fighter, which I met most of my friends, to be honest.
We used to pick on everybody together. I would take second round, and I think our record was 77 wins, right?
78 wins. It was 78 wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sharing games, taking rounds, you losing.
I know. I won some.
At that time, I thought I was definitely a gay man, so I just went with the flow. But it wasn't really something that I talked about, and it wasn't really something that someone ever asked me. In the fighting community, I actually never really had to worry about that ever, about being ridiculed or being belittled or someone not liking me for being LGBTQ or whatever it may be, whatever I was. Yeah, it was always a really good environment.
Everybody is more focused on trying to beat her. When they lose, they go back and they start talking to each other, and 99% of the time it's always, how the hell do we beat Ricki? And it wasn't about gender identity or anything like that.
Is it worse online?
Of course, yeah. Online is terrible. I had my fair share of trolling about how I look, or about how I don't look, or about how I should look, or how I play, or how I don't play, or how people want me to play. My looks really were never an equation, I feel, when I was presenting as a gay male. It was more about like Ricki being fabulous, or Ricki's so good at Street Fighter, or Ricki's an F word, it was stuff like that. But more now, since I came out as trans, my skill kind of almost took a backseat, and it's more, everyone from the outside looking in is focused more on my transition, in a sense where, oh well, Ricki looks so much hotter now, or Ricki looks so much uglier now, or it's like Ricki doesn't like a woman at all, or Ricki looks really good now. Who cares about that? Like let's talk about like me getting my butt kicked like at Capcom Cup finals, you know? Talk about that, because I mean that is more relevant than like how big someone's boobs are getting, or you know, or how someone's starting to look, or someone's hair is starting to grow out. Ready for a day? It is warm today, huh? Yeah. I miss the arcade scene the most just because I miss that feeling where you're having so much fun and time just flies by. Like playing online is fun, but it'll never mimic that camaraderie you get when you're hanging out with people at the arcade and you know like 20 people there. It's really cool, it's fun. How are you? Good to see you. Wow, this is very different than how I remember it. Oh my God. This is where all the fighting games were. They're up against this wall in the back. It used to be so sick. And then we have after hours here, remember? And we just play games.
When we first met Ricki was about 10 years old-ish, around that age.
Elementary school.
Elementary school, yeah. She was crazy good. I remember this little kid was just so good. It was difficult to beat this little kid for some reason.
I already had like 3 or 4 years under my belt just playing casually with my father and my cousin. So I was good for my age, that's for sure. Yeah. I remember when I was little, these guys they would hide their hands with like jackets to do fatalities and stuff, yeah. And I'd be like, what are they doing? You know, like how do they do that?
I would put my hands like here, do my jacket, and then put it underneath.
You know, you couldn't look on the internet to see, oh, how do you do that fatality, or how do you do that combo, or that attack? So they would hide it, you know, like it's like their secret, you know.
And a lot of people would get really mad. They'd actually get really offended by that.
Do you remember how the community had helped you with questions that you had about your sexuality or about your gender identity?
I'm pretty sure deep down inside, all my friends knew, I knew, but no one really cared about that kind of stuff.
We figured, you know, something was up, but we didn't really care.
Playing at the arcades, the people I was around, the people I knew were so close-knit. You almost become a family, you know. So these people are the least judgmental people that I knew in my life. When I hit about 13, that's when I got like a taste of playing in a tournament, like having that drive and having that like adrenaline hit you when you're playing in a match. You have your heart pumping, the adrenaline rushing. And when I got that first taste in the first event I entered, I got 3rd place, and I was so sad. I remember crying. I cried when I was 13 years old. I was so pissed that I lost. My first game of the season. It was definitely exhilarating, I can say that. I never expect to do the best, the utmost best at the very first events, but I wanted to just get a good feel for the game. That's my main purpose in playing early. The way I want to transition, I knew that it was going to take me to do it medically, and I knew that there were consequences that come along with it. I mean, what about children? Do I want to? I kind of leave that in the past and start transitioning, and I can't have kids anymore. You know, it's hard to play when you have a lot of that on your mind. Like your judgment is clouded, your game is clouded. Like the way you're playing is completely clouded. You're just off. Something's off. You just don't know what it is, but you're off. And I was off for like a year and a half. I just was playing like complete shit.
So do you think you're a better player now that you've transitioned?
I think I'm a happier player, which ultimately is better. You know, that's a good thing. I'm happy now.
Hey, Ricki. Amazing what you're doing at Transgender.
I don't have that burden in the back of my mind telling me that I need to do this or lying to myself. Good luck, kill him, give him hell with Chun-Li. You want to be very authentic and truthful with yourself in any way possible, because I don't want to live my life and wonder what if, you know. I don't want to go 20 years down the line, and I didn't transition. And, you know, I'm like 50, 60 years old, and I'm like, you know what, well, I wonder why I didn't do that. I should have did that back then, you know, and be happy for not happy for 20 years. Like, it's not a risk I'm willing to take.